This movie came out already? How did I not know that? Talk about a shadow release. But I have a personal attachment to Salem's Lot, so I kind of need to talk about it. So let's do it. So Salem's Lot is a new adaptation of the classic Stephen King vampire novel. Author Ben Mears returns to his hometown of Jerusalem's Lot. Then slowly people start turning into vampires in the town. He and a crew got to figure out what's going on. How do they stop it? Or survive? Now, this movie was supposed to come out at least a year ago. Maybe 2. Why was it delayed, you ask? Probably because it's not that good. Like I said, I have an attachment to this story. In the 90s, I was like, I'm gonna get my big boy pants on. I'm gonna read some Stephen King novels. Needful Things was the first, remains my favorite, but Salem's Lot was the second. So I was kind of stoked that this movie was coming out, and then really disappointed that it just kind of dropped off the radar. Then I found out last night, hey, by the way, the thing was just kind of quietly released on HBO Max, and it's enjoy. Salem's Lot's kind of classic at this point for being a miniseries. There's one in the 70s, one in the 2000s. And although this is not a miniseries, it is a feature film. After watching it, I feel like it was filmed to be a miniseries, because there is just shit missing in here. I don't mean missing in here like people who read the book are talking about an adaptation, like, they cut some stuff out. No, I'm saying after watching it, there are clearly noticeable edits, noticeable transitions in which something else was supposed to be there. Things just cut out. That feeling of it being a made-for-TV movie, it kind of flows and ebbs. There were some moments I was like, this does feel like it could have come out in theaters. Kind of. But I guess there's just no first impression. That first scene of dialogue set the tone, and I just carried that with me throughout this entertainment experience. And although streaming services have kind of changed the meaning of the whole straight-to-video thing, I'm talking mid-2000s straight-to-DVD vibe. Makes it sound worse than I mean for it to sound. I don't hate this movie at a cellular level, like its presence offends the art of cinema itself. Just saying. Walmart bin. Kind of feels like that. Positives, though, I do like the fact that it feels like old school vampire lore, as this deals with vampires as very good versus evil, heaven versus hell, God the devil, faith, crosses, the crosses glow, like they do in the book. I know, I'm that guy now. The side of the cross blasts a vampire against a wall. You revoke the invitation. They fly out the door. Cool to see, but some of the themes just aren't given enough time to actually mean anything. The most memorable scene in the book involving the priest illustrating there are fates worse than death or even becoming a vampire. No, it's not in here. Keeping it spoiler free for people who might want to read the book, I guess. Like the book, this is a slow burn. I mean, it doesn't start popping off until about halfway through the movie. Book's very much the same way. However, in the book, it was a slow burn with purpose and interesting characters. It's this slow, subtle assimilation of this town. It's kind of passive-aggressive. Some vampire stuff happens here and there, but there's a haunting moment in the book where they look around, they're like, where is everybody? Are we it? Slow burn doesn't mean boring, it just means it's building to something. This movie was just slow. And whether it be the editing job that feels rushed, the pacing that's simultaneously slow, yet fast-tracked, to going nowhere being the operative phrase, because this movie's very anticlimactic. Anticlimactic, unfulfilling, pick either one, or both. Character arcs have no real payoff. When someone bites it, you don't care. I mean, bites it as in dies, didn't mean for it to be a pun. Like, the best character was Mark Petrie, the kid. He has the biggest kill count. I'm not talking vampires, I'm talking human beings. Kid's hard, man. Also, Barlow sucked ass, Barlow being the head vampire. Yeah, he was whatever. I've heard Stephen King talking about Barlow and what he wanted to do with the character, because vampires were either really savage and they tore things apart, or they were very intellectual, and he wanted a vampire that was both. This movie is both, yet neither. I don't blame the actor. I mean, the character he's playing is nothing more than a prop. Full confession, I know the 1979 Tobe Hooper Salem's Lot. It's classic at this point. But I was never a fan of that illustration of Barlow. He never talked. He felt like a monster. However, I do appreciate the fact that they just leaned into that. It's a monster movie at this point. We're just gonna commit to that. And for the sake of the atmosphere that the 1979 original was going for, Barlow totally worked in that. This movie doesn't commit. It tries to ride the line. It tries to be what Barlow was in the book without enough time to build up Barlow. And although Barlow was always more of a presence that you feel rather than a character that's seen, he should still be a presence that's felt in the film. And you don't really feel that. He's another half-baked idea in this film of half-baked ideas. How'd that YouTube asshole describe this movie? Anticlimactic, unfulfilling, Pick either one. Perfect! Let's make him fit right in with that. Sticking with the atmosphere and tone of that 1979 original miniseries, the vampires were far scarier in there. Because that's what Salem's Lot's supposed to be. It's supposed to have creepy atmosphere, creepy tone, scary vampires. Things normally found in an effective haunted house movie with vampires. It had scenes that looked like they should have been, but it just wasn't. That's why I say Walmart bin. But it's another one I'm not gonna remember in T-1 day. Yep, already forgot. All right, so the 2024 Salem's Lot movie. Did you even know it was happening? Did you forget about it? I guess it's out now. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? Or what's your favorite vampire movie? Whatever it is, whatever you think, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you wanna see more, click right here to see more.